We wanted to talk more about why it's happening, ways you can protect yourself. Really happy to have Jeremy Melton, CEO of Impact Service Group, with us to talk more about this, especially as we're heading into another weekend where AC units are going to be working overtime. Jeremy, when you see video of someone loading a full-sized unit into the back of a vehicle, what was your initial response?
My response is that times are tough for some people, and they feel like they need to steal, and so they just go and steal things. And air conditioning units happen to be something that the raw material that it's made of is valuable, and so it's something they can take and scrap. So
You took the words up right out of my mouth because that's exactly what I was going to ask you. Why are these a target? What makes this worth the effort? That takes an incredible amount of effort to take one of those, especially when it's anchored by concrete. Talk more about what makes them valuable. It's not for resale of the whole unit. You're saying it gets torn up and then sold for parts.
yes, ma'am, they can cut them up. You can cut up the copper tubing, the copper wiring, and you can take it to a recycle yard, and they'll scrap those and they'll give you money for those. I actually took some time this morning and called a local yard. Number one, copper is going for about $4.50 a pound right now, and copper coil is going for about 2.30 a pound. And so when you look at that, there could be 50 pounds or 100 pounds, depending on what kind of unit it is, how big it is, and all that. And then of course you have compressors and you have fan motors. The components of the equipment can be parted out and sold for scrap, and that's what they're getting. And it's just like free money to them, and they just have to go work a little hard for it.
What do you think are the biggest misconceptions about AC unit thefts?
I think that they can take place anywhere, but typically, if you light the area well, and you can put fence around it, you can do the things, the cages that guy was doing. There's a lot of ways you can detour them, slow them down per se. But most of all, I mean, just um, lighting the area eliminates a lot of it, with floodlights and such.
Would you feel that businesses or individual homeowners might be most at risk for something like this happening?
I think that homeowners are at most risk because they're an easier target. But businesses are absolutely a target as well. In the city of Atlanta, we've had theft like this through the years. Um, I do commercial HVAC, so it's been a little while since I've seen it, at least at scale. But it does happen. And but again, if you light the area, you can also elevate the units. You can hang them up off the ground. That's
Huh.
been a good deterrent. Make them a little more difficult to get to.
Ah, yeah, I'd never heard of that. That's interesting. You can pull them up off the ground. And you're making a great point because, I'm thinking most homeowners or even people in an apartment complex, you're most focused on front door. If you have a driveway, there's certain areas you're thinking about lighting or maybe having a ring camera over, and AC units wouldn't necessarily be toward the top of the list. So maybe an important conversation, just getting people thinking about a valuable part of their property that they may not be thinking about. You're thinking about your car in the driveway, not the AC unit on the side of the house.
Yes, and the AC units have definitely gone up through the years. So it's a very expensive component of the home and the business, and it's also the first one that is missing when it's gone.
Yeah, especially with the weekend that is forecasted and some of the weeks we've come off of. It doesn't take but a couple of hours without AC running, and you start feeling that Georgia summer inside your kitchen. You mentioned expensive. Talk about how much a replacement might be for someone who is a victim of this kind of theft. How much money are we talking about?
Oh man, most if it's a residential unit, most of the time, you're looking at a 2 to 5 ton unit. If they just get one, and you're talking $10,000 to $15,000 for replacement, depending on what you have. Um, a lot of trouble now too. The units have been phased out through the years, and we've had new refrigerants come in, and so now if you do lose a condenser, you may have to replace the whole system, which also involves the inside unit, which is the evaporator. But that can get very expensive, and so a 15 or 20 minute robbery per se could cost someone anywhere from $10,000 to $25,000.
Wow, that's incredible. Perhaps there's like an unsuccessful attempt. So before I let you go, just a quick question. If someone's watching this story and they're saying, "Hey, my AC unit has not been stolen, but maybe someone tried, it's been tampered with, maybe there's something going on with it that looks a little suspect." Should they have someone look at it before they turn it on? Is there any potential danger there? What would your recommendation be?
If you had someone tampering with it, and if it's still running, I don't know that anything would be wrong. If it depends on how long they were there, but yeah, I mean, you could always call a local professional to come out, evaluate the safety of the unit. But if it's not been touched, it's probably fine. I wouldn't be too concerned if it's still there. It's running. I'd say it's probably fine.
All right, Jeremy Melton, CEO of Impact Services Group. We really appreciate the insight and the time, and thanks for calling the scrapyard for us, because that's really helpful information. I think that answered a big question for a lot of people when they see the story. They're saying, why? What makes this so valuable? And it's just that copper piping and those scrap metals and everything that brings money to whomever can break apart that system. So we really appreciate your time and all of that new information. Thanks a lot.
All right. Thank you.